Hi there, and thanks for joining me for a sample of how I teach Hatha Yoga. Any form of movement has the potential to not only work on your body, but more importantly, your relationship with your body. In yoga, we would talk about practicing ahimsa, which is to be non-violent in our thoughts, words, and actions. With that in mind, try to treat this time and every time you step onto the mat as an opportunity to create loving kindness and acceptance of yourself as you are right now. Let's do it. So starting in all fours, spread your fingers wide apart, bring the knees at least hip width apart, and begin with just a little free form movement, maybe side to side through the hips. Allow the spine to move if it wants to as well. Already setting the tone for just feeling your body and connecting into sensation rather than trying to have every little thing perfectly aligned. Let's let the belly move. Let's try and breathe in and out through the nose in a way that feels really natural for you. And then we'll come ahead and find a spot right in the center, tuck the toes under, and then lift up into our first downward facing dog. Don't worry if the knees are a little bent or the heels are up off the floor. It's not that important. Feel the challenge through the shoulders. Feel where your legs and your arms and everything is placed. Give it one more breath in. And then as you exhale, come down. Let the knees go to wide and bring your head down to rest either on the hands or on the mat. Or two little fists if the head feels like it's high up off the ground. It's never really that important getting A to B or getting this pose perfect. It's more about having an experience, paying attention to that. Let's give it one more breath here. And then gently walking yourself up. Let's bring the fingertips to the floor behind you. Lift your chest bone, look up toward the roof. Maybe a little squeeze of the shoulder blades just to open up across that area where most of us tend to be guarded and perhaps a little tense across the heart and the chest. You could either stay here. If you want to do a little bit more, you could lift your hips up as well and drop the head back. Say hello to the plant. Hello, plant. Give it one more breath in and then exhale to release down. When we get there, interlace the fingers, take a big stretch up toward the ceiling. Maybe lengthen out through the right a little bit more, then through the left, and just wiggle and find where those areas that want to stretch are located. Some parts of the body are really easy for us to find, like our hands or our feet, as in we can sense them without any effort. Some areas of the spine and the torso in general are a little duller and darker and harder to kind of connect into. Let's bring the hands behind the head, rock the elbows back and lift the chest up. And again, you don't have to go to the absolute furthest position you can find. It would be fine to look straight ahead or even look down, or modify every shape for the one that gives you the best effect. Let's take one more breath in there and then exhaling to release. Walk the hands forward, spread the fingers wide, bring your chin down toward the ground. This is just a preparation for our downward facing dog again. So lift your knees, maybe go for a little bit of a walk from side to side this time. Just 2 or 3 breaths. Can you keep your eyes in one spot? Maybe just sitting in between the feet with the gaze. And then we're going to try and step this through into a lunge. So as you inhale, lifting your right leg up, and then as you exhale, try to step it through. If it doesn't quite make it, you just come down like I have. Step that foot forward. And then we meet up there. Both hands on the thigh. Lift your chest. Roll the shoulders back. And then settle in for a lunge. There's absolutely no need or really benefit in going as far as you can into this or any other shape. I'd find a happy medium where there's a sense of effort, there's a sense of stretch, but it's not intense. You can still breathe, you can still relax, you could still smile if you wanted to. And then you can either stay as you are or bring both hands behind the head. Again, wrap the elbows back and just open up across your chest. Give that a 2 or 3 breath hold. You can press the feet into the mat, maybe even stretch right foot forward, left foot backward. Let's take one more breath in and then exhaling to release. Simple twist to the right. So bring your left hand down onto the floor on the inside and see if you can twist your spine, your chest, your ribs, your neck to gaze up toward that right thumb. If you're feeling energetic, you could always lift that back knee off the floor. There's always going to be more, there's always going to be less. What we're looking for is what's right and most appropriate for you in this moment. Let's take one more breath in and then exhale to release. We're going to find a plank next. So you could come down into kneeling plank. You could certainly do this on your elbows if there's any wrist issues. You could find a halfway point by just straightening out one leg, but some of you will be able to easily hold both legs out straight as well. Depends on your energy levels, depends on, pre-existing injuries that might be there. Just always look to be, again, compassionate and mindful of what your body really needs from this practice. Let's give it one more breath in and then exhale to release down. Bring the fingers to rest together in a prayer position. Drop the head down, just take a little stretch before we go through those lunging positions on the other side. See if you can soften your arms. Send the hips back and down. I'll find a point where they won't go much further. So perhaps softening away from that edge a little too. Let's do one more breath in and then releasing like we did before. Spread the fingers wide, look between the thumbs, come up, tip the toes, go over the feet and back into your downward dog. Just for a breath or two, and then we're going to lunge on that left side. You're more than welcome to do from all fours instead, or from here, inhale, lifting your left leg up, exhale, finding your lunge again. Bring the hands to the hips, roll the shoulders a little back. Again, perhaps explore where's your final range of movement and come a little shy of that. Fix the eyes in one spot. See if the breath's traveling nicely. Are you getting, a little bit more effort in the breath? Is there a bit of heat generated? This is not a bad thing. So again, you could stay there. If you wanted to, interlace fingers the other way. Elbows wrap back, chin and chest lift up. Gaze toward the ceiling. So look for your drishti. That's a point of stillness in the gaze that helps us to focus more on what we're feeling, how we're positioned, what's going on internally, rather than taking in too much information through the eyes. Give it one more breath in. And then as you exhale, right hand comes down to the floor, left arm windmills up. Maybe you can gaze towards your left thumb. Maybe you need to look, a little closer to the floor. But find that point of stillness, either staying there or potentially lifting that back knee up. It's a little bit like the sensation of doing the split. So one leg moves forward, one leg moves backward. But of course, we're twisting, we're rotating. Find your belly button, lift that up towards your left thumb. Let's go with one more breath in and then exhale to release. Last time, downward facing dog. Doesn't matter if it takes you a couple of moves to get somewhere. You find your own path. Metaphorically, we find our own path on the mat. And out there, we're trying to find our own path in life. Can the journey be as peaceful as possible? Let's give that one more breath. And then slowly walking hands back toward the feet. You can bend your knees as much as you need to. Let your head be really heavy. And then just a slow roll up through the spine. Once we get all the way up, see if you can lift your shoulders up and then back and then down. We're going into chair pose. So bend the knees, sweep the fingertips along the floor. Inhale into that Utkatasana or chair pose. Pick a spot to look. Maybe it's up or maybe you need to look closer down toward the floor. But keep the eyes still. See if you can sit a touch lower or not. You listen to your body over a teacher every single time. You're the only one who knows what it feels like. Give that one more breath, perhaps sit a little bit deeper, and then inhale to come up, exhale to release. Have a little loosen up through the shoulders, and then we'll turn to do a couple of standing poses. So touching the fingers, lift the heels, bend the knees, step or jump out nice and wide. Turn right foot out to the side, left foot at a bit of an angle, inhale. And then exhale, coming down into your warrior pose or Virabhadasana B. See if you can look at your middle finger without needing to see any more than that. Feel the sensations in the body. Yeah, the easy, the challenging, whatever's there is welcome and absolutely okay. Let's do one more breath, perhaps sinking a tiny bit lower, then flip that right palm and inhale, lift it up toward the ceiling. Gazing toward your fingertips, maybe you can bend a little bit deeper. Your legs may be shaking like why not? It's all good. Let's do one more breath in, and then exhale, release, turning toward me. Both hands come to a prayer position at your chest with the toes turned out. Take a breath in, exhale, come down into your yoga squat. You might want to go a little further by interlacing fingers, reaching out and then up, or you might be content, or you might need a little support with hands on thighs. These are all absolutely viable options. Let's give it one more breath, perhaps a little bit deeper, and then inhale to come up, exhale, release, turn left foot out, right foot in, warrior pose. Inhaling, get ready, exhale, bending that front knee deep again. You probably find one side a little more stable or a little easier than the other. In yoga postures, it's not so much about how well you can do a pose, but it's about creating Sthira Sukha Asanam. So a posture that is firm yet calm. Let's do one more breath, sink in, then flip that front palm. Inhale to reach up. Maybe you can snake that right hand down the thigh a little further, and just pick a spot to focus your eyes. Soften that gaze. Let's do one more breath in, and then exhale, release. Again, find your prayer position for your goddess pose. This time maybe interlace, sink down, but reach up. We're not going to hold this too long. Just a nice slow, deep breath in, and then exhaling to fold forward. Turn the toes straight ahead, lift the chest a little, and then sink on down. If you struggle to touch the floor, bend your knees a little bit, or maybe you'll grab a yoga block to rest your hands on. If you're a little bit more, bendy in this position, perhaps your head comes all the way down. There's nothing superior or inferior about your version of the pose as compared to any picture you've ever seen of this pose. Really what's important is what's happening in the moment. How's the breath? How's the body? How are you traveling? Let's do one more breath here, and then inhale, slowly starting to look up. Creep your hands back around to the top of the mat, and then step back again into that plank. So you might do kneeling plank, you might do full plank, you might take a rest altogether from this one. Whatever happens, again, is completely okay, and it's just an experience. It doesn't need to be good or bad right now. Let's give that one more breath in, and then exhale to release, coming into Dandasana. So however you get there, sweep the feet in front, flex the toes back toward you, bring the fingertips, or if you've got longer arms than me, perhaps the whole hand can go down onto the floor, but look at one spot between the toes. See if you can lift and roll the shoulders back, but at the same time, wrap that rib cage in. Feel those muscles contracting around the trunk of the body. Let's give this one more breath in, and then exhale to release. Come into comfortable crossed legs. Inhale as you reach up, and then exhale, fold forward. If you struggle with that, if you feel like you have to sit up tall, the knees are up around your ears, maybe just send the legs a little further away. Or you could certainly change it altogether and go for more of like a wide squat position. These are all absolutely valid. Your job is often to discern what works and what doesn't, and really practice that's going to bring you the most benefit. Let's take another slow breath here, and then inhale to look straight ahead. Exhale to release. Bring both legs in for table pose. So my feet are about hip width apart, fingers are forward, wrap the shoulders back and gaze up toward the ceiling. You could certainly stay here, or if you wanted a little bit more, then you just inhale, lift the hips up as well. Stamp down to the foundation, so every single knuckle of every single finger and toe helps to press, and you use your buttocks to lift up high. Give it one more breath in, and then exhale, slowly coming down. From there, let's bend the right knee. I'm going to flip around to face you guys. Right knee is bent, left leg just neatly folded underneath. As you inhale, reach your right arm up high. As you exhale, right elbow comes down. We twist around to the left side. So just creating a nice open twist here. You can certainly change the legs. It's your body, it's your practice. It is absolutely your time that you've carved out to do this, so use it well. There's nothing to perform. There's nothing to kind of judge or rate yourself against. Let's give that one more breath in, And then exhaling to release, Navasana. So bring both feet onto the floor. Hold just underneath your thighs. See if you can lift up one shin. Maybe lift up two shins. If you feel really steady and comfortable, reach your arms out as well. But lift up tall through the spine. We're going to see if we can enter that twist position from the air. So take a breath in. As you exhale, right foot comes underneath, left knee bends in towards you. Lean into right fingers and inhale, lift that left arm up. Exhale, twisting around to the right side. So open your chest, see if you can use the muscles of the spine and the trunk and the torso to rotate your body around. So that means bringing the belly button with you, bringing the rib cage with you, drawing that right armpit shoulder back, but not forcing your way in with your arms or your hands. Again, let the eyes rest still. Just feel that almost corkscrew effect that we can get if we lift and twist at the same time. Give it one more breath in, and then exhaling to release. Bring both feet out in front. Just a couple of windshield wipers so you can drop the knees to one side and then lift them up, and then drop them to the other side and lift them up. See how your hips are traveling. Maybe one side the knees go further down from the other. That's completely normal. As much as we like to think of ourselves as being symmetrical in our bodies, we really aren't. The two sides of your face are very different. Very similar, obviously, but completely unique in and of themselves. So the hips and shoulders and anything else we have two of wouldn't be any different. Let's bring both knees up, swinging around again, so to the side. As you inhale, lift up nice and tall, and then as you exhale, slowly roll down through the spine. If you want an extra bit of work, before you let the shoulder blades come to the floor, you could lift your legs like Navasana again, and hold, gaze at the toes, squeeze the tummy in, take a breath in, exhale to release. Both feet on the floor. Let's roll up to bridge a few times. So as you inhale, you'll roll up one vertebrae at a time, and then you'll exhale, peel the spine back down. Some people are really naturally open in back bends. I'm not one of them. If you continue to practice, then you may surprise yourself. I've seen that happen many, many times over the years. Students who didn't know they were natural backbenders or natural arm balancers or whatever. You know, these things will reveal themselves given consistency and effort. But again, you know, I believe in a really less is more. We're not trying to force anything out of your body, but more being curious about it. Yeah. Let's do one more, and this time we're going to stay up there for a couple of breaths. So you might want to hang out there, or perhaps interlace the fingers and bring the elbows a little closer. See if you can really squeeze your upper back muscles, so not just, you know, holding to that bind with the arms. Squeeze the buttocks, lift the hips a little higher if they want to go there. Take a breath in, and then exhale, slowly roll back down through the spine. Give a little squeeze of the knees toward your chest. Never in a way that's aggressive or really pulling and forcing anything. A little roll from side to side. You know how that rocking rhythm itself has quite a calming effect. With yoga, we're never just working on the body or the breath or a theme in isolation. Everything is interconnected. So we're really wanting to soothe the nervous system in here too. Give that one more slow breath in and out. And then into Supta Baddha Konasana. So the feet come together, the knees go out wide, or if that's a little too much on your inner thighs or your hips, perhaps you'll go the other way with knees in and feet out. That would work just as well. But seeing if you can rest the hands on the tummy, the eyes could be closed. And just like that, sensing your breath. Your body is, without a doubt, the most intelligent thing on the planet in many, many ways. We've become so highly evolved that we sometimes actually lose connection to the physical aspect of just breathing and just noticing this beautiful vessel that we have. We've become so conditioned to judge it on what it looks like, and it's a bit like not being able to see the forest for the trees. Yeah? yoga can really help to bring us to a place where we're just appreciative of the body and the life that flows within it. And it's a funny thing that we, in this day and age, sort of see ourselves as a little separate from our bodies, and I guess that's how we come to judge them and often find them lacking in some way. But a really embodied practice is one that is full of feeling, sensation, presence, awareness. We can use all of these things to become somewhat more conscious in day-to-day life. And that also delivers to us, that a lot of the things that we worry about and waste energy on really don't matter.